All right, welcome back to the Educators Podcast, and I'm your host, as usual, Alejandro Gutierrez, live from the studio, upgraded studio a little bit, and I have
Look nice.
thank you, and I have a special guest today too. We're going, two for the price of one today. So go ahead and introduce yourself, my man. Man, thank you.
Yep, yep. I can go first. I got you, Ashanti. My name is Armoni Easley, from the Bay Area originally. Been in Sacramento for a good while. My professional career definitely started in Sacramento, and it's been an honor to be able to just be in different endeavors as an entrepreneur. And I'm just happy to be in a space to be able to just kind of process how far we've came. So, yep, I can pass it to my brother Ashanti.
Yeah, I'm Shanti Watson.
Nice.
Uh, yeah, I'm trying to get into this business aspects and things like that. I've just been working 9 to 5s. So I've just been kind of on Armani's coattails for a few years now. Just helping where I can, learning where I can. So yeah, that's about it for me.
That's cool, and I appreciate y'all both coming on today. And we'll just kind of tap in and see what's going on with Project Optimism first, and then see where that takes us. So, Armani, I want to give you a shout out first of all for coming on the podcast when I had like 100 listeners total. Right, we're up to almost 4,000 by now. By the time this is going to be,
Let's go.
we passed 4,000 probably.
Let's go.
And talking to you, you were the first person I brought on that I didn't know personally. Like I had run into you one time, but I was like, I thought of you right away. I was like, I got to get this guy on because he's a positive influence for the youth, and I just feel like he'd be perfect for this, what I was trying to do. So I appreciate you giving me that trust from the beginning. I want to shout you out for that. And then that was one of my best episodes, definitely. And then since then we just been growing, and I kind of taken the podcast in different directions. I
Yeah,
started off with
I've
the
been
idea
seeing it.
that I wanted to do. I'm gonna just focus on teachers, or I'm gonna focus on educators. But then I just realized that everybody has a story, and as long as somebody's doing positive things um, for themselves or the community, or they have a story to tell that's gonna influence somebody in a positive way, I kind of just brought them on here. So I appreciate you for doing that for me, and kind of let us know, what's going on with Project Optimism right now. Where are you at? I know you guys been staying busy, distantly, so kind of give me, a little rundown. What's going on right now?
Well, quick updates, man. Everything kind of is interdependent and it complements each other, right? So I believe that you giving us the opportunity to speak on your podcast led into yesterday. So just yesterday, we were on the official Sac Republic professional soccer team's
I saw
podcast
that.
yesterday.
I
You
saw
know what I'm
that.
saying? So like, don't get it twisted. Just you giving us the opportunity to be able to speak about our truth, speak about our young people, speak about the community work that we're doing has led into us being able to keep on elevating and telling the story of the work that we're doing and working with young people that uh, don't get the shine that they deserve about their genius and about their creativity and about truly just getting the opportunity to be successful in life, man. So like, I'm glad that we've been able to bridge those gaps. So I just wanted to throw it right back at you, man. Thank you for believing in us enough to put us on here. And that's how I feel about my brother Ashanti. Like, the dude's a sponge. He's a genius. He's a systems guy. He complements where I'm not good at. So that's the reason why our brotherhood has been everlasting. And before Project Optimism was even a thing, he's seen stuff in me that I didn't even see in myself. So he's validated me in a lot of ways for me to like really understand who I am and how I show up. And I hope that he feel the same, that I'll do the same for him. And that's why he's on this podcast, because I believe in him and I want him to do the same thing. So just to give you more updates though, more intentional updates, is we have this district-wide BSU Black Student Union homecoming fair where all 65 schools is invited. They're going to be able to be on a Zoom platform where they're going to be talking about the importance of leadership clubs like BSU's. We're going to have a college and adult panel, a student panel, an entertainment halftime show for them to be able to get together. Another initiative that's super, super dope that we've been able to build out is we've been doing this readership where we've been taking certain books. The recent books have been the I Promise book by LeBron James, and we've been reading it to classrooms and having dialogue behind it. And then the young people have been able to make I Promise statements, like words of affirmations for them to really, really embody for the rest of their school year and in life. So that's been super dope. And now we're going to take that same model and do it for the families. So not like just a regular like parent night. We want to create an experience that's going to allow them just to just be relaxed and just let their hair down. And I don't know if I mean, I know you know this already, but everybody's feeling the tension of the pandemic. And so if we can switch it up at any time by you being Project Optimism, we're going to do that. So sorry, I'm long-winded because there's so much more that we're doing. But those are the two highlights for Northern California. And I got a whole bunch for you in the Southern, but we'll talk about that another time.
Okay. Yeah, no, I see you on the podcast. I was gonna let you know. I was like, hey, let me remind you, man, who put you on first, because I'm seeing you on all kinds of podcasts now. Like every week, I'm like, hey, man, that's my guest. Be cool, you know what I mean? but I'm glad that you're doing that. I mean, people obviously see something in you, and like you said, your friends see something in you it kind of brings us back to that quote that you told me that someone told. I don't know who told you, but you said somebody told you that our goals are connected to other people's goals.
Yep.
You know, and that kind of resonated with, or actually it resonated with me a lot, and I've been posting that a lot, and I've been thinking about it a lot. I've used it with other people. Like I never really thought about that. Like you said, your friend saw something in you, you know. So what you're doing right now, what you're striving to get done with Project Optimism, like that's connected to what he wants for you as well, you know. And we're all connected in this way. And like the way I say, the way you're, you know, our parents set up something for us, and whatever, you know, whatever it may be, it could be a small goal, it could be a big goal, but you know, we let other people down if we don't get to reach our potential, you know. And that, so when you said it to me, like, it still stuck with me, you know. That was like
that's love.
Yeah,
no, somebody told me that, so I had a social responsibility to share it out. My boy Josiah said that to me, and it stuck with me as well. But I always say that, man. I always say this, like, it's no me without we. So it's a whole bunch of people that are moving to make us be able to do these platforms. For you to get to you said 4K, over 4K, like that's not by chance. It's about people being able to see you, believe in the content, and really, really enjoy what you're doing. So yeah, I definitely want to jump shot in here. Just what you hearing, Sean? Because this is dope. This is dope.
Yeah, I like what I'm hearing, man. I'm basically trying to do the same thing you guys are doing. You know, you guys started from basically nothing and built your way up. 4K, that's a lot. So that's a lot. So I know it took a lot of work, a lot of dedication, a lot of good days and bad days. So
absolutely,
I'm ready to start my journey with that. You know,
absolutely.
Yeah. So what you got planned right now? What do you got in the works right now? What are you brainstorming to do?
Talk to him, bro. LLC, talk to him.
Hey, talk to me, man. Don't be shy, man, because this you can jump in anytime.
Yeah, it's my first podcast, so.
Oh, hey, you gotta get that. You know what I mean? Like Armoni's he feels more comfortable now. He's on Zoom all the time. I'm a teacher, right? So I just finished 3 Zooms. You know what I mean? I'm on Zoom every single day. So, you know, I feel it. But you know, go ahead, man. Just let loose. We're just talking, man. Don't think too much about it.
Yeah. So right now I'm actually a correctional officer. Been doing that for about 3 years now. And it's just so like it's a negative environment in general, and I'm just trying to, you know, I just stacked up my money. You know, I got a house, and I got like my initial accomplishments out the way, and now I want to work for myself, and you know, just start building the brand. You know, just getting larger and larger. So I know one thing want to do something with the housing, like do some like veteran assistant or maybe foster care. We're still brainstorming on that, but to generate some more income right now, we're going to start this trucking business, box trucks, and just start moving trucks and you know, finding drivers and just keep building trucks up, maybe to like 5, 6 trucks, and then you know branch off, get into more real estate stuff. So that's right. Right now we just started the LLC. Applied for the name. Got to wait for the documents to come in the mail. So it's gonna be Get Their Boy Trucks, unless it's taken already. That's the plan right now.
But the part that makes me excited about Ashanti is he's so chill and he's so systematic with his thoughts. But like we've already got started by the fact that he was able to get our first truck. He's able to Google University, YouTube University, where he identified what we need to do and he got to it. So like we're already in the clear because we got started. That's been the biggest message, getting started, bro.
That's it. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, and I've always said, I think I always post them like, just do it. Because like with the podcast, right, I could have waited. And the podcast to me is like this, people ask me, why are you doing this, right? And I'm like, you know, I don't know yet. I don't have the clear, like, why. But I did know that, like, I wanted to do something for myself. Like, you know, like your man said, he's already a little bit accomplished. He has his house, you know, he's got his career, but there's more out there, you know? And so to me, it's like, yes, I have my career, you know, I have my healthy family, I have my house. It's like, but there's more, you know what I mean? And I always got to strive for more. So when I started the podcast, it's because I had all this creative juice just flowing all the time. And I was like, you know, I was listening to a podcast that told me no one's gonna give you your dream job. You have to create it. You know what I mean? So, and I
Ooh.
thought about like, man, no one's gonna just say, "Hey, Alex, I'm thinking we start a podcast. I'll pay you this much money. You just do it." No one's gonna do that. No one's gonna do that. You know, so I kind of had to just do it myself. Armani, no, he's seen the growth from the beginning. I'm over there in the bedroom, just the laptop, but now I got a light. You know what I mean? Now I got a microphone. Now I'm setting up a little studio corner, and so I think the biggest thing for you just said is you have to start. You just got to do it. You know, and I think a lot of times young entrepreneurs or young students who are coming up with ideas, they just don't get started, and they come up with their mind is their own, you know, enemy, just telling them like, no, don't do it. You know what I mean? Don't do it. People are going to laugh at you, or you're going to fail, or whatever it may be, or it's too hard, you know? And I kind of bring that back to like my whole running journey. And I know I talk about it a lot, but I was an athlete as a kid, right? Until after high school, I stopped. And for 10 years, I didn't do anything, you know, and I weighed 290 pounds, you know what I mean? And I was just like fat, bro, you know? And so at that point, I was just like, what's wrong with me? And now I'm down to 230, you know? And that's not like dieting or anything like that. You know what it is? It was just running. Cause I had a friend at work just tell me, bro, I don't want to hear about your diets and all this baloney. He's like, go run for a year. And I was like, run for a year. And if you tell anybody do something for a year, they're gonna be like, nah, bro, a year's too long, right? I want to get 5 minute abs, or how do I get, you know what I mean? Or how do I lose weight in 10 days? You know, that's the kind of things we want. And I think with like your project and your business that you want to build, it's just getting started, you know, and you'll learn as you go. You know what I mean? And I think it's kind of like what we're doing right here with the podcast. You know, it's just like, just do it. You know what I mean? Come up with the name, get rolling. You got the LLC. So, you know, and I kind of like that you have that mission too, to give other people opportunities too, right? So it's not just about you making money, it's
Yeah.
about giving others an opportunity to do something, you know, so they can provide, you know?
This is exciting even just to talk about. It's elevating just to hear y'all both speak y'all truths. And I was thinking about sports and stuff like that. And Ashanti could probably tell it better than both of us because he played collegiate ball and was one of the best people in that I ever knew that played the game of football. But those transferable skills. So like a lot of the things that he was great at on the football field, he's just applying that to our businesses now. The things that we're trying to get to. So I personally love to kind of see the progression that we're going with everything that we're trying to tackle, even if we don't know. It's just, let's see about it. Let's make these informed decisions on what we're going to do next. We know we have the capital. Now it's time for us to be able to figure out where we want to put it. And then if we can make it purposeful, like hiring drivers that might not get an opportunity for a traditional job, which we do have that in our mind. Like, how can we put people on that maybe didn't get the chance with the traditional interview? Like, how can we really just, you know, help them provide for their family and to keep them out of trouble and to empower them?
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Yeah.
Empowering is huge, you know, and so you play football?
Is he frozen?
I don't know.
Oh, he's frozen.
I think he froze on us. Well, we'll just wait till he comes back. I think he'll
Yeah,
drop.
for sure. Cause I do want him to say a little something about that. Like, man, I
Oh,
used to hear a lot.
there he
Oh,
is.
there you go. There you go. Go ahead.
Hey, you're a football player, right? You said you running back? What'd you play?
Yeah, he played linebacker.
Oh, linebacker. Ooh, LB.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So
kind of tell me, like, can you kind of just tell me real quick, like where you grew up a little bit, kind of give me a little back, because we know Armani. Armani talks a lot, so don't let him take over this show, man.
yeah, I grew up in Vallejo, California,
B Towns.
and
Okay.
yeah, with the football thing, I know playing linebacker. You know, when I first started playing, I was just super aggressive and just kind of running everywhere trying to make the play. And you know, a big thing is that you have to see it first, see it before you react, see it, and be patient. To make say patience, and then you have to react with violence, basically. You know, aggression. So that's what I try to do with life also, because I need to see it. You know, so like even with the housing thing, it's like I can't see everything, but I wanted to kind of jump into it. And it literally took me like I found out about box trucks, and it took like 2 days. I was like, yeah, I definitely see that. That seems easy. I can start that right now. Why not? Boom, you start the LLC and everything. Just get it going, get it rolling, because you know, it's easier to see. So with the housing thing, it's like, let's get the house. You know, our mind is kind of like, just buy the house. You know, why not? Just get it, and we'll figure it out on the way. And we probably do both at the same time.
Cut. He'll come back.
And the Wi-Fi over there.
That's okay. We'll fix it in a second.
Your house too big, bro. Your Wi-Fi not working.
I think he'll come back. Yeah, man. So I'm excited to hear about this real talk because that whole housing, that's cool, man. I just saw that on TV yesterday. How many people don't have housing and youth, and people get stuck out of the essentials.
Yeah.
He's coming back.
Oh, for sure.
But
He'll
yeah,
probably go see what's going on.
yeah. So Armani, we'll continue. So yeah, so I mean, how important? Obviously, you already had this digital presence going, before the pandemic and all that, but you definitely like kicked it up another notch. I know you had some students helping you out with those opportunities. What how important do you think? Obviously, like how much digital presence are you going to continue even when we get out of this pandemic?
See, that's the point right there, man. The pandemic has so many blessings, bro. And when I'm thinking about it, I mean it's from the bottom of my heart. Like I think it really catapulted us, honestly, because I just got off early, but I was just in LA virtually just now. We had 3 programs that we just did for ABC district in Southern California. And so we literally are able to be in so many different places writing at our house, So like I think that what's going to happen is even when we come back, we're still going to have virtual programs. We're still going to offer virtual mentorship programs and sessions and stuff like that because it's allowing us to have a reach that we didn't even think about having before the pandemic. To keep it real with you, so you hit it on the head. What about you in academia? Like, what do you think about? Is it shaping it differently? Because I mean, it just seems like it makes sense for some students. I'm seeing that some students are thriving, believe it or not, and some are not. But it's something
Yeah,
that it works for.
there's a mix of just like anything. In person doesn't work for some, at home it works for some. I think definitely this it's going to change everything. Like you said, it's a blessing in disguise. Obviously, it's a sour blessing because we've lost a
Sour.
lot of people's lives and people have been in rough situations because of it. Losing their houses or whatever it is. Losing their jobs. So definitely, it's not like a beautiful thing happening, but it's definitely
No,
gonna
no.
reshape our world. And I think,
Right.
like you said, with the digital thing, with going into education, like at first, if you ever told me like, hey, you're gonna teach from home on the computer, I'm like, nah, bro, that sucks. But
Right.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, there's some perks to it. Like you're at
Yeah.
home, and I know it's funny, but I made it a goal to never eat out of Tupperware this whole year. And so I was super excited to be able to make every single meal for lunch. Be able to have the time to have breakfast with my son and my wife every single day.
Yeah.
And that's gonna go away pretty soon when we go back to the grind. But then you do miss the interaction, and students are struggling. I'm pretty sure you've talked to many. They need that social interaction, that mix up with students and kids and
Yep.
people. And I do too, man.
Yep.
I'm a social butterfly.
Mhm.
And I saw a meme that was kind of dogging me, but it said like, why do men start podcasts instead of going to therapy? And I was just like, oh, but hey, whatever. You know what I mean? The podcast
Hey,
is free, therapy's
both
not.
are beautiful. Hey, both are beautiful. I love it. I'm glad that you did because you're allowing other people that might not. Like right now, I'm trying to get a therapist right now. The 4 that I got referred to, they're booked up. Like people are taking advantage, which is so dope for them. People are taking advantage of therapy, but it's hard to come by right now, you know? And that might be another a lesson to you entrepreneurs out there, y'all. Like I know that I don't have the best insurance right now because I kind of got to take with what I can get with like Medi-Cal and stuff like that until I keep on elevating and stuff like that. So to a sense, it's some pros and cons to this, pros and cons to this. So you just got to be mindful of what you need and what you want.
I think definitely. I mean, think about that. You just said therapy, right? There's a lot of like professions that are going to change because of this. Like, I just saw my doctor on the on my phone 2 days ago, like a video, which saved me, dude. It saved me time to
Hey,
go over there. No lie, it saved me time to drive to Roseville, whatever I got to go to Kaiser. Okay, it saved me my copay. Like, they didn't even charge you the 15 to go in there or whatever it is, right?
oh, that's a good point.
You know what I mean? So I was like, and the guy would just like talk to me. He saw already. I took, I already had sent him what I was worried about. He said, okay, you're good. He said, you're fine. And then a little email. And I was like, I know the app was already rolling for Kaiser, but now it's like, bro, there's little video things. You don't have to go for that. I don't have to spend my gas, my car, time. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. There's a little bit of benefits to kind of going digital.
Oh, for sure.
And obviously, it's for everybody's different. I think the students, I think they do miss it, man. I never got to the point
Yeah.
now where kids are asking, can we go back? Like, kids want to
Yep.
go back because
Yep.
right now what it is just education, and there's nothing else, right? There's no fun, there's no interaction, there's no nothing. So the kids are struggling with just like, you're just giving us work and we're doing it, and
Absolutely.
that's not why they go to school. We're trying to develop these kids to be more than just learning history facts and math. They need to learn, like, critical thinking and team building and social
Yep.
interaction and different things like that. So that's what's happening right now.
And that validates what Project Optimism does. And Sean, jump back in here after I say this part. But really, what we've noticed, one of the things that we were blessed to be able to do for a school district is called the Youth Hangouts, and it's basically exactly what you're saying. Let's just do something. It is a virtual platform. It is unfortunate, but let's just do something different where we're like wiping out the academia side. You can get back to your homework in a little bit. Let's just hang out. We had debates. We had trivia, we had Kahoot, we had just random conversations for them to learn from each other, just a space for them to almost feel like they're not in their bedroom or in their kitchen or wherever they're at doing the Zoom. Like it's sticking out like a sore thumb about the importance of physical people to people contact, you know. But Sean, could you be a student during this time, bro, just in front of a camera the whole time? Because I know I couldn't.
I actually tried that. I was taking this chemistry class online, and well, since I am grown now, but back then it probably would affect me more. But taking that chemistry class was it's a little different, especially it's science, and my major was criminal justice and all that. So trying to learn all the periodic tables, and you can't like say, hey, can you come over here real quick and show me this.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Like, you have to kind of ask the teacher, and they got to get to every answer, and I don't know, it just takes a while. But it would affect me as a kid. It would affect me a lot because I had a high energy. I really didn't care about academics back then. Middle school and elementary. I just wanted to get out to recess.
Yeah, that's for real.
Everybody.
It was goal based. It was like my reward based, I should say. So it's like, I'm gonna do this classwork. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm not gonna get in trouble because I want to go to recess. So I want to go to play kickball, or go flirt with the pretty girl in school. Like, it was all reward based. I'm doing all this just so I can go to recess. Doing all this and so I could go to my friend's house after. But if you're not out there making friends, and you don't have that recess to hang out with your buddies and all that, then yeah, like as soon as class over, now you home, boom. Now what are you gonna do?
Like you said, that reward based, like you said, for me, it was the same thing, right? The recess, the morning one, and then you got the lunch, and we play football. We couldn't wait to run out there and play football, even if it was for 10 minutes, right? We were playing tackle on the cement. It didn't matter, but you couldn't wait for that little 10-minute recess. And now you don't even have that carrot to dangle in front of them, so it's like, okay, class, boom, next one, boom, 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 boom. Are you done for the day? And the kids are like, and I think like, yeah, some kids are cool with it as far as maybe academic wise, they're doing better, but everybody's suffering in the social development, because we're all going to need that eventually. Whatever job you want to work in, like you say, you're entrepreneur, whatever you want to do, if you can't talk, and you don't know how to defend yourself, or in a business meeting, whatever it may be, it's going to be rough, and there's obviously jobs that you could have and careers you could have where you don't have to talk and just listen. But I don't know if that's, what everybody wants to do. And I just, going back to like what Armoni was saying about the digital, how it's changed. I want to shout out a couple students of mine who started a podcast. Like, they started a podcast during this pandemic, and they're on YouTube. They have like 6 people on there every time, like all students. And I'm like, wow, like they're taking this time, they're seeing what's going on out there, and they're just doing it. They're just starting. Like, maybe podcast is not their end goal, but it's definitely like, man, they're building a resume in 9th grade, having a podcast. Like, man, in 9th grade, I wasn't doing that. You know what I mean? 9th grade, I don't know what we were doing. I mean, we were having fun. We were playing outside. We were, playing soccer, doing our sports, doing graffiti, whatever it may be. But we didn't have no podcast. You know what I mean? Not 9th grade.
But Alex, I'm gonna tell you what you're doing right now. And it's so dope. Is you doing legacy work. So your kids, your grandkids are gonna be able to look back at this, bro. Like, even when you're gone, the great grandkids will be able to talk to track back of what you were speaking about, and probably how relevant what you were speaking about, the content, the feeling, the vibe that they're still feeling to the present day that they're in. Like, that's so cool, bro. One of my friends, I think he does that. He writes almost like a letter, and he writes it out, but he actually reads it out loud, and he's just keeping it for his grandkids, for them to be able to have, for when if he's here or not here, that they'll have the game, the experiences. Even right now, like let's keep it real. Teachers are not going to be able to teach what happened during this pandemic or what happened with the White House, if you will. They're going to get to hear it from their grandparent. Like he's making sure that he gets to tell the story and it's not just being told from the classroom, just in case it's not the truth. So just those type of things, right?
I never thought of that. It's like those, the rappers or the singers that leave music behind for their, for their family to, you know what I mean, reap the benefits of, or just have it. And maybe hopefully that's the goal. Hopefully I'm able to, because I want to get into media. Personally, I want to get into media, and I have ideas, man, for documentaries. I have ideas for books. It's just putting, like, getting started is obviously the hardest thing, because you tell yourself, like, man, if I do that, whatever. And so obviously, one thing at a time. You can't, build, Rome wasn't built in one day, and so to me, it's like, it's okay if it takes a while. It could take 10 years to write a book, but I do have these goals to, I don't know, man. I like to talk. Like I told you before, I like to talk, and I can't stop sometimes, and I want people to hear me. Good. People need to hear me, man.
But I'll say this though, that's why Sean is one of the dopest people I know for me, because since I talk so much and he's this. And so I can always count on him when we're facilitating stuff. I'll stop the whole situation and be like, hey, Sean, what's up? Because he'll do a recap. He'll say the right thing at the right time to change our trajectory or keep us on track. But we need that, right? We need that balance. But even right now, Sean, what you hearing, bro? Because we talking a lot. You know how we do.
He's listening. He knows.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of listening. It's good things. Like I said, it's my first podcast, and I'm just looking at how you guys are doing it, what to learn from.
There's no rules, man. There's no rules. I got featured. I got featured on a podcast. Shout out to them. Pacto de Caballero is a soccer podcast, Mexican soccer podcast in LA. And they featured me on there 2 weeks ago. And I felt like I kept, you know what I mean? I felt like I kept taking over. It's like 4 of them, but I felt like I kept taking over, and I'm like, so I had to hold myself back sometimes, like, hey, let them talk, you know what I mean? Let them talk. So, I guess we could be a little bit intimidating, Ashanti, but I wanted to go back to your football, man. Like you, especially because you played linebacker and you were obviously like probably the captain or leader of the defense, or you middle linebacker, right? You probably, saw everything. And you say you got to see it, do you think, like, how important is sports? How important is that to a development of a person? Because I feel like it's huge. Like I grew up playing soccer. I swam in high school. I swam as a kid. I did baseball like for 10 years. I did a bunch of sport. I even played football 1 year. And so to me, like, I feel like it helps me out with life. Like not everything's that hard. Like it's not the end of the world. Like if we have a bad day, tomorrow is another day. To me, it kind of brings it back to sports. Like, man, you lose one game and you just bounce back. And then obviously I coach. I still do. So how do you feel like that? Like as an athlete, as a former athlete, obviously you're still an athlete. How do you feel like, how important is that to a young person's development, and going into their life, how important does that play a role?
That's a good question.
That's a really good question. I think it's all about overcoming things, because whatever athlete you are, at some point in time, you had weaknesses. You had things that you might have been kind of nervous of being exposed, or so like me, I was probably one of the better athletes, and I had a name of, that's Ashanti, so to me it's like I gotta keep that up, then it's like I know that maybe my hips are too tight, and if I gotta cover somebody, I might fall over or something, or they might embarrass me. But in general, like, to speak more broadly, I think overcoming and going through adversity is what really, it's like, it starts at practice, starts at that first, training camp, or like when you go out there and, even at, me and Armoni at Bethel, it's like, hey, I want you guys to run this mountain until I tell you to stop.
Man.
Like we call it the Walter, it's just a bunch of hills that made a mountain, like just run it. How many times, coach? I don't know. Just keep running.
So I get tired.
And yeah, and you get to that point where you want to give up. You get to that point where it's like, this is too much. Like I can't feel my legs. I can't do it anymore, and it's always harder for that first person who feels that way and gives up. Then it's like, what are we made of as a team? Then you get me and Armoni picking the guy up. Like, come on, you can do it. Grab him, pick him up. We're not done yet. You can't run, walk. You can't walk, crawl. But you're not going to sit on
You gotta finish. Yeah.
We have people literally crawling hands and knees. You're not stopping on this mountain. You're gonna reach the top, touch the fence, and you're gonna roll down. Whether we got to push you down. We have people fall down the mountain and everything, but it was a different time. It's a different time now, can't do that to kids. But in general,
can't do half the
in
things.
general,
they can't do half the things they used to do to us, man. No way.
Yeah, and it's not only with football. It could be any sport. Feeling like you can't do something and overcoming and find out you can. And like literally yesterday, I was riding dirt bikes, and my friend Bill, he's like a real dirt bike rider. I ride when I can. He made this big jump, and I'm looking at the jump, looking up like, I don't know if I'm doing that today. It's like my first time riding this particular dirt bike. Like, I don't know, and he kept encouraging me, like, just go through it slow. If you can't walk, crawl, basically. Like, just go through the ramp slow. You don't have to get a bunch of air. Like, all you gotta do is do this, put your body position this way, just come on, just do it. Follow me, So, I end up hitting the jump. And now, I had fear for that jump. It's a fear, about, you trying to not get hurt. If I get hurt, I gotta take off work, or, it's like, is this that important? So it's all about like what's in your heart and you overcoming things.
Yeah.
That's what like kind of drives me in general.
Yeah.
Is overcoming things that, because that's what I grew up on, is overcoming things I was scared. It could start with, riding scooters or riding bikes, like hit this jump, or go, we're gonna hop this fence and just travel and try to see what's on the other side of this fence. There's a bunch of trees and stuff. I don't know what's over there. The world's so big when you're little, we had to help each other hop over the fence, and we just started, going on an adventure. So it's just things like that. You go through that with, soccer, and, it could be, like I said, dirt bike, football, baseball. It's like, man, he pitches so fast, I'm scared, or even pitching your first game. Like I played, a few different sports, like pitching your first game and everybody looking at you. Am I gonna throw the ball? Am I gonna just stink it up? Am I gonna hit him in his face with the ball? No. But it's all about overcoming things, and you can get that with any sport,
So what I'm hearing, Alex, I'll right back out. But like, I was not good. Like, I was the polar opposite of Ashanti. I was happy just to be on the team, right? But I'm so glad I played sports, bro. I'm not playing with you because I learned so many life lessons, teamwork. I learned discipline. Like, I learned so many different things that I use to this day, and it's in my heart. It's embedded in me now. So like and I had good people that were good, but still poured into me and seen the fact that I ran my hardest into Ashanti, knowing dang well I wasn't gonna hit him, but the fact that I ran into him, I got his respect. And then now we're like 15 years plus later, we're still best friends. One of my best friends, So like just those type of things.
Yeah. Where they have you? Where were you playing? What position were you?
I played linebacker, but clearly I didn't play because everybody else is better than me. I did play tight end. I caught a few passes. CJ Anderson, he played in NFL. I caught a few touchdowns from him. So I can say that's something that I got a little.
He was there with you. He was there with you guys.
Yeah, he was our little homie. He was a sophomore when we were seniors.
Yeah, he was baller.
He was the best player on the team. You know how that go.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. I want to see. Okay. Yeah. No. And that's the thing with sport. And I always bring back sport because that's obviously something that's on my mind. I'm a coach. I played. I always watch it. And I feel like with my students, I try to push just random kids. Hey, I see this, and why don't you do this sport? Because there's a sport for everybody. It doesn't have to be organized football. It could be something else. And now I'm starting to like value cross country and track and other sports that, like, to me as a kid, I was like, I ain't doing that. I want to be on a team. For me, I wanted to be on a team because that's just me. I'm just a social person. And now that I see now that I'm older, I value like those individual sports too. Cause I'm like, hey, you know how hard it is to just run out there by yourself. You're doing those 5-mile races. And like, now that now that I run every day, I know it sucks, bro. And honestly, I do it because I like to hear people's reaction. Like, hey, you run? I go, yeah. How many miles? I'm like, 8. And they're like, 8 miles? Like today? I'm like, yeah, 8 miles before breakfast. And to me, it's like, I'm not trying to show off. It's just, I like the reaction. Like, oh, you're tripping. And I'm like, no. I like it because I know a lot of you aren't going to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I know I'm going to get up at 5:30 when it's 28 degrees outside. and it's pitch black and I'm going to do it. And no one else that I know is doing it. And to me, that made me feel good. And I was like, I'm going to keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. Now, the cool thing is I live nearby where my school is. So a lot of my kids see me. I'm running and they're on their bikes or whatever. And they're like, man, Mr. G's tripping. You know what I mean? Like they see me in the morning and they see me in the afternoon too. Like, you going again? And I'm like, well, we're sitting around so much. I got to do something. You know what I mean? And I just feel like, why not run? You know? So that's why I like the sports, man. I like students and young athletes to be involved in that, you know, because the winning and losing is important, but I think it's also other stuff, you know, like you said, character building, man, you know, like running those hills, you know, doing those dumb laps. They used to make it up downs, you know what I mean? Up downs for like 10 minutes, you know what I mean? Those, when you had to hold your abs and all that, like leg lifts and all that. Oh my goodness. You know, 'cause I played football 1 year. I played football when I was a Pop Warner Pee-wee, right? So 9 years old. And I thought it was gonna be cool because I always liked football. I was like, I'm gonna play football. Oh, I hated it, man. I hated every single second of it. And I didn't quit though. See, and my dad was like, you're not gonna quit. We already signed you up. You're playing. My team was good. You know, it was the junior Nighthawks back in the day, and we were good, you know. But I mean, I was like O-line, you know what I mean? They just put you wherever, you know, it's Daddy Ball and Pop Warner, you know what I mean? So it just, you know, dad's son's gonna be the QB and he's gonna run every single. That's it. There was nothing. I didn't learn anything. I really didn't learn anything. But I remember like my dad was like, "You ain't gonna quit, man. You're gonna go every single day."
Learn that, then. You learn
Yeah,
that.
you're gonna. Yeah, that's the only thing I learned. To be honest, like you're gonna finish these 10 games. You know what I mean? And I was like, "This is terrible," you know. But that same group of players are the ones that won the Open Championship for Grant High School in like 2008. They're the ones that won the state championship, right, against Long Beach Poly. So the team was good, bro. You know, the guys were good. You know what I mean? And I was definitely not there.
Alex, I think we got a headliner for this session right now, man. This episode. Find your sport. Because all that means is an individual thing. Because I just had an epiphany not too long ago, even and it's resonating with me right now. My sport is entrepreneurship. That's my sport. And I'm good at it. I'm great at it. I'm a visionary. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm really just having a moment with you right now where just, hey, whoever out there, find your sport. It don't necessarily have to be sports, y'all. Find your sport.
Yeah.
You've
been doing that entrepreneur stuff since the club days with Brant and everybody, you know what I mean? So
absolutely. We was getting it rocking, but yeah, I go past that in middle school, bro.
Oh, okay.
I was selling candy. I had the lawnmower business. Like I had it for 2 weeks, but I had it. You know what I'm saying? Like I always make the joke about that. Like I had it for 2 weeks, forgot about the maintenance of the lawnmower, spent the money that I made and didn't have enough money to get it fixed. So I went out of business, but I had a business.
You started, you know what I mean? You did it.
Yeah. So I just find your sport, man. Find what you're good at, what you can do nonstop. You can do it for free. You could lose sleep for it. It sounds like you found one of your sports with running, man. It's just I love that.
And don't get me wrong, man. I hated it. Like I was that guy. Like we played soccer, right? So we run for 90 minutes. But when it was time to run, like non-purpose run, just like, hey, go run, whatever. Dude, I was like, this sucks. You know what I mean? Like to me, like no, man. But I wish I didn't have that attitude back then. I wish I had the attitude I have now as a 16, 17-year-old, you know, where I'm like, all right, let's do this. You know, and I wish I would have got up at 5 when I was 16, 17. You know, I wish I would have got up at 5 and then go to sleep lifting weight. You know what I mean? But I didn't have that maturity, you know, when I was, 15, 14 years ago, you know. So definitely, like you said, find your sport, man. Find what drives you. And I think I have that entrepreneur chip too. You know, I've had my business. I was DJing for like 4 years with my brother. We had everything set up. We may or may not have been selling burnt CDs in high school. You know, I'm not going to confirm on this podcast, but you know what I mean? I had my sources to get new music, you know, whatever, but we were always slanging like little things here, man. Hey, you know, or I had my print, you know, I was printing shirts. I still do, you know, I was printing shirts here and there, decals. I've always had this, like, you know, I want to do something, you know, that will bring in revenue, but I think it's also creating stuff. You know, I like people wearing a shirt that I made, you know what I mean? I like people like almost like I having this connection with them. You know, it wasn't so much about the money. It's more like you're enjoying my presence. You know what I mean? That's what I kind of felt.
Hey, Sean, he said he does decal for shirts, bro. We need them for the business, so we need to highlight him when we.
I can do the truck decals, man. I know I can do the truck.
Look at that.
I have the machine.
In the business.
For you. Yeah, that was gonna be the next thing I was gonna look up too. Who
oh no, I got you. Just send me the letters you need and whatever the size, and we'll get that to you, man. Color, whatever. You got it on the DOT. I just did a big order for a friend too, so I don't do it all the time, but I have it. You know what I mean? Because I'm so busy doing my thing, but I have an industrial machine. You know, I have a big one. You know, so we could push that out. If I for you, I would do it. You know, for other people,
Man,
sometimes
that's
I'm
love, bro.
tired.
Yeah.
But you know, hey, are you gonna keep your day job and continue to do this business, or are you trying to transition out of that? Because I know you got a pretty good gig, man. You can retire at 45 years old or whatever. You know what I mean? So what are you thinking of doing with that?
Yeah, I want to. I'm gonna try to keep the job until I can retire within 5 years. get a little something maybe, but I don't care about the job or retirement, honestly. So the goal is to get out of it.
Okay, so you want to
But
transition out? Yeah.
yeah, I kind of want my income from entrepreneurship to kind of take care of that section of my life, at least, and so yeah, the goal is to get out. I don't want to I don't like working for, at least not for them. Like I want to take back my time, you know.
Yeah,
I want
time
my time back.
time's everything. Yeah.
And I know you still need to put in time, but you have more control over your schedule. You have the ability to be like, hey, I'm blocked off for this hour. I can't block off an hour right now. I have to ask permission. So yeah, that's where I'm trying to get my time back.
And to add on to what Sean's saying, for me, it's what you make of it. In entrepreneurship, the way we're operating, the way I'm operating with Project Optimism and my consulting work outside of Project Optimism, is what I make of it. I can get 5 contracts, I can get 10 contracts, I can get 30 contracts. You know what I'm saying? And like what people have to understand within that, and what I understand with working within systems is I got a lot of compliments about how great I was doing as an employee, right? And that's cool. No disrespect to that. It helped, right? But I still was gonna get paid the same amount every single month, every 2 weeks, no matter how good I was. But in entrepreneurship, is what you make of it. So I just want that to be something that builds that freedom. Is don't quit your 9 to 5. If your career job makes sense, just have a side hustle on the side.
Yeah.
Like, don't feel like you can't do both. I always tell people, well, whatever works for you works for you, and that's all that matters. And it sounds like that. It sounds like that's what you're doing. Sound like that's what Shot doing. That's what I'm doing. Whatever works for you is for you.
Yeah, the 9 to 5 it's not a crutch. You know, I think a lot of people might look at it as a crutch, or like now they're trying to downplay it and be like, oh, you got the 9 to 5. It's like, bro, someone has to do the 9 to 5 though. Like, we can't have everybody be entrepreneur. No one's gonna have money to buy your product. So, and don't get me wrong, like I do want to transition one day, like, have that dream to just, hey man, imagine I'm just podcast. I don't know what it is, but I like how Ashanti says like he's gonna want to transition out. That reason I asked that is because I think that's what holding most of us back is like once we let life kind of happen a little bit, we have responsibilities, and you have to have something that's stable that brings in money because you have a mortgage or you have rent, whatever it may be. You have to buy diapers, you have to provide, right? And so sometimes like you can't just be a careless entrepreneur either, where you just like, woo, we're gonna start this and I don't care, I'm gonna grind it out for 5 years. Like, what are you gonna eat then? So sometimes it's just hard to find that balance. Yep. But I think like, Armoni said, it's good that we kind of have like, all right, we got this thing going now. We got it set. Now, can we transition to maybe add a second thing or a third thing? Or, because the idea is obviously to have some passive income, like everyone says, and you're able to just have this time. Like you say, you want to buy your time back. And don't get me wrong. I've been like, right now, I've been like stuck on this. I've been fascinated with this obsession that I'm going to take a year off one year, like I'm going to take a year off. Like, I don't know when, I don't know what year, but like my wife and I have been talking like, what if we just we rent a beach house, in Mexico and live there for a year?
I love it.
You know what I mean? Like, but to other people, like, what are you going to do for, it's like, but why just keep doing this hamster wheel of just like work, pay rent, work, pay rent. And I think like, or, buy things. It just becomes this like never ending wheel where like, I think the American society has just told us that you have to work for 35 years. You know what I mean? Don't retire till you're 60 something when you're already sick. You got back problems, your knees hurt. You can't afford medical insurance. Like, that's not the life that I want to have. I mean, I'm not having it right now, but I want to see the world. Hey, our lives are short, man. I don't think we could constrain ourselves to just work.
And side note, tell sis I said what's up. Tell your wife I said what's up. I ain't seen her in a while. Send her good vibes, and I know she's an educator as well. But absolutely, man.
She's doing a doctorate right now, and she's doing the doctorate through Sac State. And
congrats to her. Shout out.
So she's definitely busy mom.
Yeah, we all. Yep. Yep, sending good vibes, bro. That's what's up. My brother's getting into his he's actually at the tail end of his doctorate at UC Merced, and he's a
Nice.
professor on the side. So like it's just dope to kind of see his progression. But yeah, no, I love it, man. I appreciate your time, dude. This is cool. And like I said, thank you for allowing me to bring one of my good friends in and be able to speak on your podcast. This is a dream come true for me, man. I love it. I love it, bro.
Oh,
Let's get it.
it took weeks to tackle you down, man. You're a busy dude, man.
Oh, you should see this calendar, bro. I gotta jet out of here right after this.
Or Armani's like, hey, let this person, I'm just like, man, this guy has a calendar. Like, I'm just playing around. Like, let me see what I can do. Come on, man, I can find you time. But, Armani's got a real calendar set up. He's got overlapping things on the Google calendar for sure.
Man, this is well worth it. This is worth it though. This is therapeutic. So yes, a
That's what they
podcast.
said, man. That's what they said, man. Just starting podcasts, you know what I mean?
It
But
is what it is, man. Hey, it's good. It's good.
so kind of tell me, man, what have y'all learned? Because now we're kind of at the tail end. I'm hoping we're at the tail end of this pandemic, and we're at the either it goes away or not. I think people are going to move on pretty soon. What have you learned? What can you take away from this whole COVID situation of being at home and just being socially distanced? Each one of you could share out. What have you learned? Maybe one or two things you learned from this.
Go ahead, Sean.
Well, when was that? Like, I think it was May. I actually contracted the virus,
Oh,
and it hit me pretty hard. I had a lot of the symptoms, and like I'll say before the pandemic, I was always like on the go, just trying to do something. I didn't want any quiet time. I had to be doing something, had to be in somebody's face, had to be around people, and I didn't know how to sit still. So when I contracted COVID, like that's all I could do. Just kind of sit in the room, and I had a tenant had a tenant in my house, so I was like confined to my actual room. So I had the TV, refrigerator, and had the bathroom in there, so I didn't have to go anywhere. Um, so like I had to really sit like basically in silence.
yeah, yeah. Time out. Time out.
Yeah, and it kind of changed my mindset a little bit. It made me more calm. Made me appreciate certain things, appreciate relationships, and then after I was done with that, I started like just taking time to hang out with my parents. Just hang out with people I cared about instead of trying to see what strangers I could be around. It's just more about family. And I was able to kind of calm down, and even now I can just like my relaxed day, my day off, the day where I don't have anything to do. I decide I don't want to do anything. I could really just hang out with myself.
Mm.
I think that's important for me personally, is to do things by myself more times. So I'm more comfortable in that. That's one thing that the COVID situation taught me.
There you go.
I love that.
How's your taste,
Yeah,
man? You got your taste back? You got your smell back?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I have no residual side effects.
Okay.
That's a blessing, bro.
That's a blessing, man. Hey, I'm glad you made it through, because a lot of people, whether it didn't matter what age or how healthy you were, people are getting hit left and right. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that you're able to bounce back from that, and you're able to, like you said, kind of get centered, centered, and focus on your family, focus on your time. It's okay to be alone sometimes. And trust me, it was hard for me, man, because I like to be in groups of 10, hanging out, like, hey, let's, whatever. And it's just like, but at the same time, I feel blessed that I have my house. See, I was able to we got our house the year before, and we didn't have this house. We'd be in our apartment, and there's nothing wrong with that. But with my son and my wife in an apartment, it was going to be rough this whole time, So at least with our house, we have room, so we fixed the garden, you know what I mean? Because we had bought it, and it was all jacked up. So we put, we changed a bunch of things in the house. And so I've been able to, I don't know, I've been able to start this and do other things as well, and obviously my health has been number one. My wife and I, like, we're working out every day. We're running every day. She runs right after. Right when I get back, she goes running, you know what I mean? And then I take care of breakfast. So it's kind of like our little thing. And we're definitely going to miss that when we go back to this grind. We're going to have to find that time to continue that, So yeah. Armani, what'd you learn, man? Because I know you haven't stopped since this happened. You've not stopped. You've been
Yeah.
digitally everywhere.
A lot of things, but I want to kind of keep what y'all were speaking about. But life too short. Like 2020, we lost so many people. you know. And it was just something that just allowed us to like be centered and understand what matters most. Like I remember going on a mission trip to Mexico, and I just remember seeing something, reading something, or something that hit me about, dang, like us as Americans, we way too privileged. We got so much stuff that we just don't even need. And it's these young kids that's at this orphanage that they got the old PlayStation, they got they don't even actually be in the house. They're playing, we're playing volleyball. We're like it they showed me what life is really all about, you know? Like, and I just really, really want to get back to that, if anything, is like, as in, I'm never going to be the same coming from this pandemic in a good way, where I'm going to really, really focus on the things that matter. Because I think a lot of times we were focused on things that didn't matter. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
Social media, like likes or whatever people are going through nowadays. I feel bad for these young people. Like I feel bad for our young people that that validation of like social media and instant gratification and those things is like that's not real life, man. So I think that y'all hit it on the head. I just want to add on to what y'all said.
No, you definitely get humbled, and obviously, my family's
Humble.
from Mexico, and I went to Mexico too. We go every year, and I went actually, recently during the pandemic, and you start you look at it, and like obviously you can tell your students, hey, you don't understand how you have it, because our parents always, you don't understand how you got it, man, and you're like, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, you don't understand. Like,
I
seriously, you
don't
don't understand,
understand.
because like at
Don't.
least here we try really hard to get students their access to school. We give them the computers, we get them the internet if we have to. I know it's not the best 100%, but they do what we can right now. But in Mexico and other countries, like bro, like they just get this like work to do, and then next week they gotta like take pictures of it and text it to the teacher, right?
Hmm.
And I'm not saying every part of Mexico. I'm just talking where I was at in the smaller town. But like in the big cities, there's people that have money. There's people that do really well. They have computers that do their thing. But other people that computer, like a little computer, even to us, a Chromebook is a couple $100. That's a big deal. Especially
Yeah,
when you make a couple $100 in a month,
for
or
sure.
2 weeks to take that kind of money. So I feel like I tell the kids like, man, you don't understand, man. We are trying to better you to be ready for the world, and there are people out there with more energy that walk miles to go to school, or have to get on 3 buses to get to school. They do what they can, and they're taking advantage of what they can. And so when we're here, we got to soak this in, man. We really got to like try to do the best we can, because you don't understand how great life is here and in other parts of the world. There's some parts where it's not that easy, man. It's not that that fun. Don't get me wrong, people here struggle. People here need things too, but the majority, the most of us are doing okay.
And I want to be clear one more time. That mission trip changed my life because they were joyful. They were genuinely happy. Like it was so much fun. I couldn't speak a bit of the language like I wish I would have paid attention in high school with Spanish. But
Tienes que aprender español, Armani. Tienes que practicar tu español. Tienes que
mi
practicar.
amo Armani. Gracias. That's all I got for you. But my point being is, but we spoke love. Like those young people were so amazing. Like that, I'll never forget them. So I just think about how joyful they were with little, quote unquote, little to what we have, but they had everything. They had more. They were more privileged to me because they knew about what mattered most, and that was their family, the people that they're around. So yeah, man.
Dude, I seen some kids. They were sharing a bike, right? So they had not like where all of them are on one. I'm talking about the kid would go do a lap on the bike, come back. The other kid would get, and it was like a girl bike, and it was like these boys. They didn't care. They got on the bike, boom, a little lap, and they were sharing like, I'll do a lap, you do a lap, and I'm sitting like the littlest things are like, wow. Over here, you'd be like, nah, but kids don't even want to go outside and get on the bike, So you're like, come on, man. So like the little things that you see, and you're like, oh my, and I grew up going my whole life, so I've already been humbled as a kid. Like I already knew, but as you go as an adult and you take your son, and my son has a TV in his room. You know what I mean? My son has neon, LED light, little things where I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing to my son? Right. But you're like, but when he gets out there, he's playing with them, and you see, like you said, the joy, man. They're just having fun. They were playing marbles, man. They were playing marbles. It's like, I never seen kids here play marbles. We played PS5, we played whatever. We played things that are on a whole other, and
Hey,
so
you
it's
got
like,
money, man. I don't got no PS5. I see
well,
you,
I
man.
don't got nothing either. I got my iPhone, but so it's just like little things like that. And hey, whenever you're all down, I will take you guys. You guys can go with me. We'll go see the real part. We'll see
Let's
some
go.
some
Oh,
good
let's go.
stuff.
Hey, Sean,
We'll
we
eat
would
some
do
good
that.
food. You know what I mean?
We
I'll show
go.
you. I'll show you what's not on the news. I'll show you what people are. trying to get you to see the bad image, you know, and I'll take you to the beach. You know, it was funny. I was sending pictures to my friend. We were in this we were a rooftop pool. You know, we stayed in this condo, and my friend's like, I thought you were in a third world country, man. And I was like, you thought, you know what I mean? You thought, I mean, you know what I mean? Like that's what you think, that's what you see on TV, but I'm chilling, man. I don't know what you're talking about. So,
sure, man.
Yeah, well, I appreciate y'all time. I really do. You know, I think we can talk for hours, and hopefully we can check back and continue to keep this relationship going. And when this pandemic's over, we can get together one time and, you know, hang out and do some other things. But, you know, I really appreciate your time coming on here. I know it's hard to squeeze you in. You know, you got all kinds of things.
All good, bro. This is a blessing. Sean, what's up, man? You good?
Yeah, I'm just ready for that Mexico trip.
Yeah.
Fine, man. I honestly because I was just talking about that with my students that I want to go to Japan, but I want to go to Japan because we have a friend that's Japanese, that's from Japan, born there and everything, raised, and she lives here. And I was like, I want to go, but with her, you know, I want to go with someone that's from the country that could take us to places that, you know, most tourists won't go to, and you know, go to restaurants that most tourists won't walk into. You know, that kind of stuff is valuable. You know what I mean? Like it's just like if I went to Vallejo or Vallejo, you know, I would say, hey, Armoni, you take me. I don't know where to get, you know, I don't know anything about, you know, I just drive through there. You know, I'm only reason I go to Vallejo is Six Flags. You know what I mean? That's it. And other than that, I'm going straight through and coming back. So it's like little things, you know, like, hey, you're from here. Show me what's up, man. What do we do? And what can we do? You know, so I think that'd be valuable. I'll start doing trips out there. I don't know, once a year or something. I think that's a good business idea. You know what I mean? Bro. Yeah. So I appreciate y'all coming on. I really do. And we're going to be pumping this out, supporting, you know, your business however we can, supporting your program however we can, Armoni. And yeah, man, I appreciate your time. I really do. All right, man. Y'all have a great one, and we'll check back with you. Thank you.
All right. Have me on here.
Keep up the good work.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right.